Okay, so the year is winding down, and you know what that means? Everyone's starting to think about New Year's resolutions. But what if I told you there's a tradition for wiping the slate clean before the year even officially ends?
I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. Every year has its ups and downs. Some wins, some losses, moments you're super proud of, and, stuff you'd rather just forget. Wouldn't it be amazing to deal with all that baggage now and make room for a truly fresh start?
Well, guess what? There's an ancient festival for that exact thing. It's called the Lower Prime Festival, and it's all about doing a kind of spiritual end of year review, a total reset. It happens on the 15th day of the 10th lunar month, which is like the perfect time to clear out the old, just before you start thinking about the new.
So, how does this whole cosmic declutter actually work? Well, like any great story, this festival has a hero. And for the Lower Prime Festival, the main character, the one who helps us hit that reset button, is a deity known as the Water Official.
And this is what's so cool about him. The water official isn't just some generic god of water. His main job, especially on this day, is to jie. That literally means to get rid of misfortune and forgive our mistakes. He's basically a celestial undo button for all the bad luck you've had all year. How awesome is that?
So, why do people do this? Well, it's pretty straightforward. You're not just confessing your slip ups, you're actively trying to clear out all that negative energy, all those obstacles that have been holding you back. And here's a really fascinating link. In traditional Chinese philosophy, water is a symbol for money and wealth. So, when you clear your spiritual debts with the water official, you're also making room to attract more financial fortune. It's a two-for-one deal, a spiritual and a financial reset.
Okay, so how do you actually do this reset? It's not just about making a wish, right? There are these really beautiful, tangible traditions that people have been doing for centuries. Let's dive into them. You can think of it like a four-step spiritual decluttering plan. First, you worship and confess. Then, you give thanks for what you have. After that, you eat for a fresh start. And finally, you celebrate with water and light. It's this really complete, holistic way to get that clean slate.
All right, step one is the most direct part. This is where you own it. People will go to a temple, or they might just set up a small altar at home, and they formally confess whatever mistakes they made during the year. They're asking the water official directly for forgiveness and a fresh start.
But it's not all about focusing on the bad stuff. Right after you confess, you move on to gratitude. See, this festival happens right after the autumn harvest, so it's a perfect time to say thanks for a year of peace and, well, having enough on the table. In fact, the day is also called Shui Ping'an Day, which literally means a day to give thanks for peace. I love that.
And you know what's next, right? No festival is complete with some amazing food. And just like everything else we've talked about, the food you eat on this day is loaded with symbolism. Okay, this is pretty cool. Unlike some festivals that have one famous dish, this one changes depending on where you are. Down in southern China, where rice is everything, you'll see things made from glutinous rice, like sweet rice balls or these sticky rice cakes called siba. But head up to the wheat-growing north, and you're more likely to find steamed red bean paste buns. But here's the key thing they have in common. The food is usually round, which is a symbol for completeness, for bringing the year to a satisfying close.
There's actually an old saying that sums this up perfectly. It basically translates to, on the 15th of the 10th month, we grind rice for dumplings to offer to the three officials. It just shows you how deep this connection between the food, the date, and the ritual really is.
And for the final step in our spiritual declutter, it's time to celebrate the water official's own domain, water. In some regions, people will float these beautiful, decorative boats down rivers, or they'll hang lanterns. It's this gorgeous, visual way to honor him, using light to show you the way forward, and water to literally carry the past away. So that's the ancient history. But what does this look like today? Well, the core ideas have been adapted into some really interesting modern practices that honestly anyone can try. Here are 3 popular ways people change their luck now. First, there's a really powerful symbolic act. You can burn a paper effigy of your zodiac animal to literally send that bad luck up in smoke. Second, you cleanse your physical space, your home. And third, you can build up some good karma for the new year by doing something charitable, like donating money or even giving blood.
Let's just double-click on that home purification ritual for a second. It's called 清水净斋. Basically, people take water that's been blessed at a temple and they sprinkle it in every single corner of their house. It's such a simple but tangible thing you can do to feel like you're physically washing away negative energy and just resetting your entire home for the year to come.
So when you look at all these traditions, both ancient and modern, what's the big takeaway? What's the core philosophy here? It all comes down to a very simple but really profound idea. First, you get rid of the bad. Then, you can bring in the good.
And it's all captured in this one powerful phrase. This, right here, is the absolute heart of the Lower Prime Festival. The idea that before you can even think about attracting good fortune, you've got to do the hard work of letting go of the bad.
It's 先解业后招财. What it means is first dispel misfortune, then you can attract wealth. Think about it. It makes perfect sense. You can't pour fresh, clean water into a cup that's already full of dirty water, right? You have to empty it first. And that's the lesson here. Real progress, real good fortune can only happen after you've been honest with yourself, dealt with your baggage, and cleared out all that spiritual clutter. So that really brings it back to us, doesn't it? The Lower Prime Festival has this amazing, structured way of finding closure. But we all have our own ways of doing it. So I'm curious, what about you? What are your personal rituals for clearing the slate? Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's a deep clean of your apartment, or maybe it's just having that one tough conversation. What do you do to close out one chapter and get ready to start the next one fresh?